Hadley Tolstoy says, tidy data sets are all alike, but every messy data set is messy in its own way. So the problem with duplicating your code via copy and paste is, first of all, it hides the intent. Right? You all, as experienced R users, can kind of read between the lines here and understand what's going on, but you certainly couldn't guess that C and D were character variables, so didn't need this transformation. And because I have all this duplication, I've also introduced these possibilities of error. So to me, like the piece, the thing that you use in R instead of copying and pasting is a function. So I think a great rule of thumb is it's fine to copy and paste 3 times, but as soon as you've copied and pasted more than 3 times, it's time to write a function. My goal as a tool builder is to engineer something I like to think of as a pit of success. Now, this is not a pinnacle of success, right? Because to reach a pinnacle, you have to strive. You have to work really hard. The goal of a pit of success is you kind of almost like fall into it without even trying. So certainly I think we're a long way from just falling into success in R. But today I wanted to sort of think about to talk about some of the things that I think make coding in R lead you to fall into this pit of success. And really, in some respect, I think the thing that helps you fall into this pit of success is theory and some kind of consistent principles. So these are things that normally you wouldn't learn. I don't think you need to learn them early on in your journey as a data scientist in R. But they're things that you will kind of notice, you'll discover naturally. And because there is this sort of rich underlying theory, my hope is that my success, to me, is when you try something that you didn't know if it would work or not, and it just worked.
Watch the complete video, Hadley Wickham, Expressing Yourself with R, on YouTube.
R is participating in Google Summer of Code 2017. Please check out the project GitHub page to participate as a student or mentor.
Hi, Joanna. Did you read the post, How to Ask for Help for Bioconductor Packages?
Yes. Writing code that reproduces the error is not easy. The article tells you that you can find out what you are doing wrong by writing the reproducible code. Sally, this post from Stitch Fix, What's Wrong with My Time Series, is very interesting.
Okay.
Time series modeling sits at the core of critical business operations such as supply and demand forecasting and quick response algorithms like fraud and anomaly detection. Small errors can be costly, so it's important to know what to expect at different error sources.
Matt wrote a great tutorial about tidy spatial data in R using dplyr, tidyr, and ggplot2 with the SF package.
R Weekly blog updates. You can learn to use 5 options to customize R Weekly.
GGSci package update to 2.4. Scientific journal and sci-fi themed color palettes for ggplot2. In version 2.4, the package added Star Trek, IGV and many more new color palettes. In the latest R3.3.3 updates, when redirection of a HTTP URL to a HTTPS URL is encountered, R will retrust to download the secure link rather than failing with download.file or URL function.
An environmental variable R check tests lines controls how RCMD check reports failing tests.
Fix buffer overflow vulnerability in PDF when loading an encoding file.
The apply now works with long vectors.
Windows only. Dir.create did not check the length of the path to create, and so could overflow a buffer and crash R.
Package installation into a library where the package exists, via symbolic link now should work, wherever sys.red link works.
Bug fix. QBeta function underflowed too early in some very asymmetric cases.
Format function for an illegal POSIX, LT object no longer seg faults.
Bug fix. On some systems, very small hexadecimal numbers in hex notation would underflow to 0. For the complete changelog, please check out our core changelog page.
There are more interesting content in our R Weekly website. R Weekly is on Twitter, Facebook and Patreon. Subscribe to R Weekly podcast with your podcast app. Follow us on YouTube to get the latest podcast updates. You can send us feedback on About page. Submit podcast segment with Submit page. That is all of this week's podcast. See you next week.
See you next week.